Hello, I'm Vivian Morgan. I'm a licensed counselor and an empowerment coach, and I help people recover and reclaim their lives after codependency, people pleasing, and narcissistic abuse. So, today I'm going to talk about narcissistic rage. And if you've ever been the recipient of that, you know it's very unsettling, very concerning, sometimes shocking, and confusing. So I wanted to talk about how this comes about in the relationship dynamic and what you can do about it. So how to recognize it and how to react and manage yourself in these situations. So I'm going to share a slideshow. And these slides will be available in the notes section too, if you want to kind of have them to look at, to review, or maybe even to share with somebody that you think is going through this too. So some people call it the shame rage spiral, and kind of makes sense. And when you hear that, you kind of like, oh yeah, I see what's going on here. There's a base of shame happening, and the rage shows up to protect the shame. So we're gonna talk about that and what that looks like, and maybe you'll identify it in some of the interactions you've had. So first of all, how it begins is the narcissist feels challenged. If you're the narcissist you're living with or interacting with happens to be a malignant narcissist, they will go into rages quite often, and usually it's just they're just challenged. And when I say challenged, I mean they you could just disagree with them. You just have a different point of view. Maybe you say no to them. They want to do something. You're like, no, I'm not into that today. That could set them off. You could actually even be wanting to solve a problem with them. You may want to discuss something. Hey, I'd like to discuss our finances and kind of how we're spending our money. It could just be something innocuous like that. And immediately, that feeling of vulnerability, that maybe they did something wrong or they have to change something, anything that shines a light on who they really are or what a real problem might be that they might need to take accountability for. Or just, like I said, it could just be a difference of opinion. It triggers this shame wound in them. And to counteract the shame, they need to get bigger. And that triggers that fight response. The other thing important to know with all of the talk about shame, and shame is very real. We all carry the ability to feel shame because shame is kind of a neurobiological aspect of being human, because it entices us to want to belong. And in order to survive, we need to belong. So we don't want to feel shame from the people that we need to belong with and take care of us and nurture and grow with. So being vulnerable for the narcissist feels like a place of weakness. It's not good. They don't like being vulnerable. Other people, Brene Brown talks to us about the strength of vulnerability, that it actually connects you to people. And I agree with that. When we talk about our problems and stuff that comes up in our lives, somebody that relates to that is like, oh yeah, I really get that. And it can connect people. But the narcissist does not feel that way. Excuse me. So shame and vulnerability arrive, and they feel the need for protection. So they go into all of their defensive modes. Maybe it's projection. You've probably heard the term projection before. Projection is when they place their, weaknesses or their problems onto you that it's your problem. It might sound like, you never listen to me. They're just picking stuff out of a bag of things to throw at you. And that's projection. Maybe they're not listening to you. Or you're always bringing up money all the time. And maybe that's not really true. Maybe that's on their mind all the time. So projection. And then deflection is kind of focusing on something else. Like, you want to talk about money, and the truth is, I don't, I'm worried about this weekend and how we're going to get through the weekend, and I've got this and that to do, and they'll just talk about something else. Superiority, they're trying to get this one up position again. So if you're coming to them with a problem that you want to solve together, or maybe a disagreement, you want to just be you and they can be them, but you might have a different opinion, or maybe you want to just share a feeling that you have that's different from theirs. They don't really want to connect with you. And that's the sad part of this, is because during that initial stage where maybe the friendship or the romance is starting, it feels like you connect on everything. But the truth is, they don't want a lasting connection. They want a lasting feeling of superiority, and that's what feeds their feeling of worth. So their rage is really an attempt to get big so that you get smaller. And they might do this by mocking you or making it sound like it's not a big deal. They might, make fun of you. Oh, you're always talking about money and we're fine. I don't know what you're worried about. So they minimize your problems. So the gaslighting, manipulations, these all kind of go into all of these types of ways to deflect the problem. And these are important because in this place, if you're not aware that you are being manipulated, gaslit in all these different ways, and you don't recognize that you're in this shame, blame, rage, then you start believing this stuff. And you might be like, well, maybe I am making a big deal out of it. If they don't think it's a big deal, maybe money's not a problem. Or, well, if they're blaming you, you're the one that spends all the money in this family, then maybe you're like, oh, wow, maybe I am the problem. You start believing it. And I didn't include on here blame shifting, and I will update this slide. But blame shifting is a huge manipulation tactic of people who have narcissistic traits. So once again, it's getting big to get power over, blaming the victim for the problem. They're never the problem. So how do you cope with this? It's really difficult being in these situations because you get defensive too. You're a human being. So what I want you to do is just acknowledge what's happening. Oh, wow. Because usually it feels outsized. Like maybe you're just bringing up a difference of opinion. Oh, I feel differently about that than you do. And they get really big. So they're making this outsized reaction to what's really happening. Acknowledge that. That's what's happening. They're triggered. We're in a shame rage spiral. And the first thing I want you to do is take care of yourself. And you do that by pausing and labeling, because they're going to go off and say a bunch of stuff. Wow, this is that shame rage spiral. Here it is. Okay, they're feeling very vulnerable. I'm just going to breathe. So give yourself self-compassion. Recognize it for what it is. And this is really hard for me to listen to. And just start noticing what's going on in your body and be kind to yourself. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for a big discussion around, whatever it is. I just wanted to have a calm conversation. But you just say that internally. Listen with an objective ear. Maybe there's some truth to what they're saying, or something about it that you really want to make sure you address. But listen with, this calm, objective ear. There might be something that you can agree on. And do grounding exercises. Maybe that involves you just breaking eye contact and looking around the room or looking down, noticing a calm, soothing color, or maybe it's a photograph or a piece of art, or sometimes just looking at a calming color. Sometimes I'll look outside too, just looking outside, taking notes. So you're really just kind of breaking that that connection to the abuse, and you're just looking out. You're just looking away, looking down. And breathe while you're doing that. Okay, I've got this. I can manage this. I can listen with an objective ear. And then start setting boundaries. Separate what is happening in this moment with who you are. They're calling me, a big spender and I spend all the money and I'm, wasteful, but I know I'm not. So you say, wait a minute, that's not really true. And then speak calmly. And maybe your calm voice sounds like, listen, I can see this is really upsetting to you. I'd like to just talk about it later. And then walk away. Don't ask for permission. Maybe you say something like, well, I hear what you're saying, and I've actually been watching my spending lately, so I don't know that I'm that big of a concern right now. And you're just very calmly stating that. Acknowledge feeling states. Maybe you say, wow, this is really triggering for you, upsetting for you. This really upsets you. That was not my intention. I would like to calmly discuss this. And until we can do that, I'm going to just take a break. So ask for what you need. I need to take a break from this. We need to pick this up later. Maybe talk another time. And then, do something good for yourself. It's going to be really important because these conversations are so unsettling to your nervous system. So it's going to be really important for you to back up and what can I do to take care of myself? I find nature is wonderful, going out for a walk, maybe even just going to take off your shoes and put your feet in the grass, in the sand, wherever you are, and just listen to what's around you. Listen to the birds. Listen to just life happening around you. It might be children on a playground or the traffic, but just notice the sounds around you. Maybe you just want to give yourself a hug. This is tough. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve being called names or being mocked, and that's not okay. And you don't need to wait for them to apologize to you. You can let your nervous system know that you deserve better because you do. So if any of this resonated with you, please reach out, let me know. I don't always check my comments like I should because I really want material to get out there for people to give some thought to these relationships that are very confusing, very tricky, and volatile. They can explode at any second. So I'm really here to support you. And, you can check out my website and my contact information's there if you need more support. Take care. Bye.